Welcome to Le Podcast de Philippe. We're diving into a topic you might not think about much, the environmental impact of websites. It's kind of hidden, but those digital spaces, they actually contribute to carbon emissions. We'll unpack some research from HEC Montreal about Canadian banks and their digital footprint, and look at some steps we can take to lessen our impact.
It's easy to think of the internet as this intangible thing, right? But it needs a ton of physical infrastructure that uses a lot of energy.
Yeah, like our water systems, you don't see all the pipes, but they're there, they use resources, they have an impact. This HEC Montreal study, it focused on Canadian banks. One thing that stood out is how a bank's reliance on digital channels to get customers is connected to its carbon footprint.
Yeah, there was a direct correlation. The more a bank uses digital marketing to get people to its website, the bigger the environmental impact. And it's not just how many people visit, it's about how they get there.
That's what surprised me. The study found that going to a bank's website after clicking an ad makes like 174 grams of CO2 equivalent. That's like driving a Honda CR-V for a kilometer, and it's 500 times worse than if someone just went straight to the bank's site. What's happening there? Why is clicking an ad so much worse?
Well, it's all about the complex digital stuff behind those ads. Clicking an ad starts this chain reaction. You're hitting ad networks and tracking scripts and all kinds of systems that need energy to run.
It's crazy when you think about all that unseen infrastructure. The study also looked at other things that make up a website's carbon footprint, right?
For sure. Website design matters a lot. The code complexity, the amount of media, even the hosting, all have an impact. And the distance data has to travel. Further it goes, the more energy used.
Everything we do online really does have a physical impact somewhere. The study found that the energy mix used to power servers matters too. Like 3 out of 4 banks with the smallest digital carbon footprint are based in Quebec.
Probably because Quebec uses a lot of hydroelectric power, which is renewable. Shows how energy sources can really change a company's overall footprint.
So where a company is located plays a part in its digital sustainability. But here's the thing that worries me. The study found that the 3 banks with the most digital pollution in Canada are the ones with the most website visitors. Feels like a catch-22.
It's a challenge, but the point of the research isn't to blame. It's about showing that we can actually measure this digital pollution. That's the first step to tackling it.
And we have to act fast. The study says if we don't do anything, digital pollution could double in a few years. That puts us on a path to the worst climate change scenario.
Exactly. And with everyone looking at environmental claims, we have to watch out for greenwashing. Companies need to be honest about their digital footprint, especially with potential regulations coming up.
Yeah, transparency is important. And with things like Bill C-59 possibly coming here, businesses need to be upfront about their digital impact. It's not just companies, though, is it? We can do things, too, to make our own footprint smaller. You know, I used to wonder, how much of a difference can one person make with something as big as climate change? But with digital pollution, I'm starting to see that even little changes in what we do online can actually add up.
Oh yeah, every little bit helps. For example, how you use search engines. Every search you do takes energy to process, so try to be more specific in your searches and don't use as many words.
That's a good one. I have so many emails. Would deleting old emails make a difference?
It could. All those emails are stored on servers that are running all the time using energy, so cleaning out your inbox can help ease up on those servers. And, when you're online, some websites use way more data than others, especially the ones with lots of videos and animations.
So if I stream videos in lower quality, that could help.
Yeah. It uses less bandwidth and less energy, just being more aware of how much we're using.
Like being mindful of our impact in all parts of our lives and now bringing that to the digital world too. But let's be real for a minute. Aren't companies already doing a lot to optimize websites? Do we need to go beyond that?
Optimizing is great, but it's just one piece. We have to think bigger and try some more fundamental changes. There's a lot of cool research happening with green coding.
Green coding, what's that?
It's about writing software that uses less energy from the start. Developers can use cleaner code and more efficient algorithms, so the software needs less processing power, and that means less energy to run. And there's this whole movement toward a more decentralized internet, which might help us rely less on those big, energy-hungry data centers.
So there's hope. It's not just about using the internet less, it's about using it better.
Yeah. That's what I'd like people to take away from this. We can still have all the good stuff the digital world offers and take care of the planet at the same time. This has been really interesting, hasn't it?
It has. I've learned so much about something I really didn't think much about before, but now I see it everywhere. What do you think, listeners? Ready to join us in making your digital footprint lighter?
I think we all have a part to play in making a more sustainable future for the internet. Things change so fast in the digital world.
It's true. Every day there's something new, right? Like a new app or platform.
Yeah, and all of that makes the whole digital system more complicated, and that affects the environment too.
Good point. It's not just websites themselves, it's everything behind them.
Right, the data centers, the networks, even our devices, it all adds up.
So if we know websites leave a carbon footprint, how can we push for more transparency and make the digital world take more responsibility? For both people and companies, I mean,
That's the question, isn't it? I think it starts with education and awareness. I think the more people understand the problem, the more they'll want things to change.
and then maybe companies will feel pressure to be more sustainable.
Absolutely. Consumers have a lot of power. They can choose to support businesses that are trying to reduce their impact.
And we can all support policies that help make things more sustainable digitally.
That's right. There's this whole movement for digital rights, and environmental responsibility has to be part of that conversation.
It feels like we're at a turning point with the digital world. We have this amazing tool that connects us, gives us information, keeps us entertained.
But we need to use it in a way that doesn't hurt the planet.
Otherwise, we might lose all of that.
It's a tough balance, but I think we can have a great digital world and a healthy planet.
I agree. This has been so insightful. Thanks for joining us to look at the hidden environmental impact of websites.
It was great to be here. These are really important things to talk about.
And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in. We hope you learned something new about how the digital world affects the environment. Remember, even little changes can make a difference.
Until next time, stay curious.
And if you want to learn more about interesting stuff like this, don't forget to subscribe to Le Podcast à Philippe on YouTube. We'll see you next time.